It is now 5:30. Sorry about that. I mean, to bust everybody's eardrum. It's now 5:30. According to ordinance, the meeting is supposed to be starting at this time. We do not have a quorum in the building, so unfortunately we cannot hold the council meeting. Let the record reflect the 2 council people in attendance and the others not showing. That being said, though, I figured this was going to happen tonight, so we're going to still hear from the public. We're going to keep the Facebook Live. I'm not going to change course from that. I think that we have, the public needs to be heard, whether it's for me or against me, or for council or against them. We're elected to be here to hear the voices of those that vote us in or don't vote us in. We need to take accountability, and that's from both branches of this government. So that being said, if Johnny Miller, and this meeting is not, it's adjourned, we don't have a quorum. But if Johnny Miller wants to come up and address the public.
Look at him.
Good? Okay.
No quorum. Baker.
Well, listen, they didn't care to have this meeting, but we're still here. We still have something to say, and I was going to talk to them directly, and they'll get it, I'm sure, through Facebook Live, but in the meantime, I appreciate everybody that is here. I want to start off by letting you know my name is Johnny Miller, lifelong member of Laurel County community. Been living in city limits for about the last 8 years. So for those that might say that what we have to say doesn't matter, it absolutely does. Amen. All right? Everybody here absolutely has a voice. Whether or not you live in the city or not, you're spending your money in the city. We got business owners here that are getting money from the folks that live in the county. So everything that you have to say absolutely matters, even if you can't vote for these folks. Now, in the meantime, I was going to start off by saying the obvious. I'm a proud citizen of London, and I'm speaking for those of us that are embarrassed by the actions of this council. If things weren't bad enough, we now have a council member that's used some evil words and been accused of domestic violence. The words that Justin Young said came out of his mouth with the confidence and arrogance that only comes with repeated use without accountability. Not only has he defended his words, but he seems proud of them and is defiant, saying he did nothing wrong and isn't going to resign. The rest of the council has been silent about this, which tells me that those they voted into the seats, they're fine with what he has said and what he's done. For months, you all have tried to put the public that, for months, you all have tried to tell the public that our duly elected mayor is corrupt because he may have said that he wasn't dicking around, but you're completely okay with Justin Young saying what he said. Yeah, absolutely. That is absolutely ridiculous. Now, for a little bit of transparency for everybody that doesn't know, they've been spending our money like crazy. We've been digging around, and there's only so much of it that we can find, so I'm going to throw a little bit out there. I'm very concerned, just like a lot of us are, with the conflict waiver that was signed by Attorney Christy Shannon, the same attorney that has represented Ambulance Incorporated when they sued the city, and per the conflict waiver, she is still representing him. The same attorney that apparently handed out scripts to the council with pre-written motions and decisions. I want to know first, they're not here to answer, but has this ever been done, and why do we think this is okay? Word is the same thing. She does represent Doug Phelps. I'm also concerned, when was it discussed to hire this attorney, and when was it voted in? We were able to see that there was a contract through the open records request. It appears she would have been making around $200 an hour to represent the acting mayor, city council, and any boards or commissions, and it was signed by the acting mayor on September 15th. When was this brought up and voted? If this doesn't show that there's some sort of secret meetings, nothing will. According to KRS 61.810, this is absolutely not something that they could have talked about during their executive session that they had on the September 15 meeting. Also, her contract says that should the court reinstate Mayor Randall Weddle, that her contract would terminate. I want to know, they're not here, but they'll get this message. Has she been notified of the termination? And was she sent the same demand letter that Larry Bryson received, that all city property be returned, all electronic data transferred or deleted from personal devices, no copies of confidential city information to remain in her possession, and all access credentials be surrendered with the threat of sending police to her home? Before this contract was terminated, did she log any hours that the taxpayers are going to be on the hook for paying? And speaking of paying attorneys, where are the invoices for the attorneys used at the special called meeting to remove a duly elected mayor? I'm sure Mr. Wiest wants to get paid, but he can't without an invoice. So right now I've seen an invoice that was billed from Chris Wiest, attorney at law, with services from August 4th to August 29th, leading up to the special called meeting. If you haven't seen it yet, there's some documents floating around, and it's all out there. We'll make sure you can see this real easy. But he billed the council for $9,175 directly to the City of London. Also, that is in addition, not including the $8,400 that was billed from the retired judge that was brought in to preside over a special called meeting, not a trial. So if you want to add that up, so far that's $17,575, and that's only what we've seen so far, not including the fees for multiple attorneys representing the council that day or any work since. Which, for anyone that may be curious, usually appeals hours are charged at a much higher rate than just regular things that they were doing. So we're probably going to get hit with a much bigger bill. So the rest of this is just asking them if they've got the message, are they ready to spend the same amount of time kicking out Justin Young for the awful things that he's done, that he's said, that they spent trying to get this man out of office whenever we actually elected this guy in there. But they're not here. Absolutely weak. Absolutely afraid to face this. January 6th, that man in this very room sat here and got attacked by countless numbers of people and took it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Next, we have Tina Cobb that was on my agenda to speak.
There's another part to that. Darren would be mad. Tina Cobb Morgan. Sorry. 30 years, I'm sure he'd claim me, at least today. And this guy right here might claim me too. All right, so I did ask to speak today, and I was also asked to pray for Justin Young and people like him, and I did. That's why I'm standing here, because I don't believe this is in God's favor. Before you, which obviously they're not here, Mayor Weddle, our community, both London City and Laurel County, today I stand here to speak about something that should be self-evident. In any just society, there is no room and no place for racism. I'm going to try to get through this with no profanity and no tears. Public office is a position of trust, accountability, and moral leadership. When people like Justin Young are allowed to occupy these positions, it's not just a failure of oversight, it is a threat to democracy itself. According to KRS 508.080 through .090, as well as KRS 83A.040, gives us the right to request the removal of Justin Young. According to the Attorney General's office, which I have spent the last 3 or 4 months in and out with conversations, our options are an ethics board. We don't have an ethics board. Our next option is our mayor. Mayor Weddle, thank you for being back with us and sticking with us through this situation. Also, according to City Ordinance 2025-6, Section 4, Moral and Ethical Conduct, behavior that reflects negatively on the City of London. Justin Young, you are guilty. Violation of ethical and moral standards. Justin Young, again, you are guilty. Racism is not a simple matter of personal opinion. It has real harmful consequences. It distorts policy, it undermines justice, and it fuels division. Let me be clear, no one is born with hate. So we must demand higher standards from our friends, from our neighbors, from our family, and certainly from a public official. Racism has no place in the halls of power. Not now, not ever. Will our history reflect the appalling silence of good people, or will you remove Justin Young from office?
We also had a couple more people on the agenda here to speak tonight. We had Mr. Whitaker. Is he here?
Greetings, community of London. My name is Whit Whitaker. I am the president of the Lexington Fayette County chapter of the NAACP, and I'm also the Thank you. And I'm also the assistant secretary for the state conference, which governs all the NAACP chapters. I just want to say that today we're here because something has terribly gone wrong with this council, with its members. And it's gone wrong with the heart of the city government that allows it. One of your own council members was arrested for domestic violence, and in his own words, he admitted to using racial slurs to demean another human being. And he did it with no remorse, and he justified it. Instead of stepping down, he said, if the community isn't happy, you can vote him out next time. That response disrespects every council person, every individual, every victim who's experienced oppression. You don't need to wait another year to demand what's right. And you don't have to tolerate hate and violence in your leadership. For weeks you have spoken out. You've protested. You've written letters, making calls, showing up for their accountability. And what you have received is silence. Silence from those elected to represent you all, to represent this community. Silence in the face of racism and abuse. But silence is not neutrality. Silence is complicity. When a public official admits to using racial slurs and still holds office, it sends a very bad message. It sends a message that racism and violence can exist with leadership, and that simply cannot happen. that cannot stand in this city or any city in the Commonwealth or in the United States. The community didn't elect silence. They elected service. They didn't elect cowardice. They thought they were electing courage. Now, let me say this with empathy if Mr. Young is listening. Hurt people hurt people. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. I cannot fully comprehend his personal pain or the mistakes he's made as he navigates the complex emotions of his shame, his embarrassment, and possibly resentment that stem from his own personal experiences. Those feelings may have shaped his mindset, but those personal feelings are not appropriate when you're serving the people. While I empathize with you, Councilman, it is clear that the council, the city, and the community all agree that your actions are misguided and out of line. They do not meet personal expectations of you as an elected official sworn to serve the entire community. Your actions also fall short of what it means to be a compassionate and moral human being, as well as an honorable politician. I don't intend to further criticize you because you're going to get enough of that. I don't want to criticize you for your continued abrasive and harmful actions. You will continue to face backlash. And it is important to note that the community has a right to respond in the way in which it does to your actions, as they look to you in this city government to advocate fairly and honestly and compassionately for their needs. When you accepted this responsibility, and each and every council person, you accepted this responsibility when you all decided to run for office, and even more so when you were elected. However, we must recognize that it is never the responsibility of the oppressed to accept bad behavior directed at them without accountability, historical, present, or future, for the pain and trauma that results in your action. Whether your actions were intentional or not, there must be a level of accountability. Forgiveness is essential, but only once your actions have been acknowledged and when those impacted decide that they are ready to forgive. It is important to understand that forgiveness is not only for the oppressor, but can also serve to relieve some burden from those who have been oppressed and who have been oppressed. And this includes you, Councilman. You'll need to forgive yourself for your misguided actions, and you have to do so after you have accepted responsibility and made amends to this community for your actions. This accountability begins with you, Councilman, and with this council today. You all must engage in an honest, introspective assessment of your actions and explore how you can navigate this situation and this city on a path of redemption. This process also starts with the council members and the government. Each member must look within themselves, both individually and collectively, to evaluate the situation and make the difficult decisions that will bring closure and healing to this community today. By doing this, you can rebuild trust, thereby redeeming yourselves in the eyes of this remarkable community. Trust, transparency, and healing should be foundational elements that strengthen the relationship between the community and its elected officials. Today, despite of the council's past actions, despite the councilman's past actions, and the inhumanity that he has displayed, I am not here to label him, you, Councilman, as a bad individual, or to criticize you, the council, on how poorly you are governing. Instead, I'm here to tell you how much potential you have to become better people and a better council and a more effective council. Each of you can take responsibility for your actions of one of your own and for the inaction of this council and this body. Only then will healing and trust and love grow into something stronger and more admirable. Only then will you be able to bridge the gap, the trust with this community, with this council. You will be able to take pride in knowing that you did the right thing today by listening and honoring this community that you claim to love and serve. Forgiveness and redemption may not seem important to you, but it is important to this community. To this community, people who have faithfully entrusted their care into your hands, and it is important to your family and friends and loved ones who want each of you on that council to be seen in the best light possible, if that is possible. This community is standing, waiting to exhale. It's time to allow them to do so that we can all breathe freely. I beg of this council to do the right thing today. Thank you.
The next person we had to speak tonight was Cheryl Cottle.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Cheryl Cottle. I'm a domestic violence victims advocate with Cumberland Valley Domestic Violence Services. Why I'm here tonight is I just want to give you some things to think about, okay? I don't want to tell anybody what to do or how to do it. I just want to give you some food for thought. I don't know if y'all are aware of this or not, but October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It's extremely important that we're all involved when it comes to domestic violence. It is not okay. I don't care who you are, where you come from, what you do, or how big you talk, it's not okay. It's not okay that Kentucky ranks 16th in the nation for violence against women. Do y'all know that? That's a little bit ridiculous. And it's not okay. It is absolutely not okay. So as you all ponder and figure out where we go from here, just some things to think about. And what we know from our research at Zero V, which our program is a part of, is that when there's violence in the home, there's violence in your schools, and there's violence in your community. So just remember that. Domestic violence is never okay, no matter who you are or where you come from. Thank you all.
Thank you. The next person that we had on the agenda was a Miss Howard.
Wow, I want this job where I don't have to show up and I get paid big money to do it. So one thing I would like to mention is that I think it would be respectful when we come to city council meetings if their phones were put up, because I think almost in every picture you can see of city council, they're looking at their phones. They're not even looking up at us. And I would also like to mention that in the future, on these boards and committees, I think it would be great to have more women and more people of color on our boards and committees. And Justin Young and City Council, you all are chickens for not being here. So I don't know if Justin knows it, but he's broken a record. He has more than 60 ethic complaints against him, which I think is more than anybody has ever gotten in the City of London. So if that's not enough to ask somebody to step down, then I don't know what is. Okay, so you know I was coming for you, Justin. This is what I've got to say. The city calls for your immediate resignation. The public has lost faith. The council as a whole has eroded the public's trust in their leadership. Taxpayers deserve better. We, the citizens of London, feel as if there is no other path forward, and stepping down of Justin Young is in the best interest of the city. I also wanted to say, Justin, that when you got mad at your girlfriend for saying that you wished your daughter would have a black baby, you took it all wrong. It's not something ugly. It's a compliment, because I don't know if you've seen my black son, but he's handsome and smart. Why don't you go up there and sit in Justin's seat, Chase, because I think you'll be there next year. All right, and I wanted to speak to Anthony Ortega, too. I know that you think you're Mr. Go-To on your little boards you're in the city, but I've lived here a lot longer than you, and I probably have a lot more friends than you. So, Anthony, when you go into a business in London and you talk about my son and you call my son the N-word, guess who the first person that they're going to pick that phone up and call and tell? That's right, I know. So, you're number 2. We're going after you, too. Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. When this incident came out, obviously they had impeached me for saying not you know what. So I've not put out a public statement regarding this because I wanted to wait tonight to look at them as the mayor and make it known that my office will not ever tolerate any woman being physically harmed for whatever the reason is. As a child that grew up watching physical abuse, for any man in this city to say, Justin, defend him in it. My mother raised me better than that. A man should never raise his hand to a woman at no point. And according to the photos I seen on Facebook, she had multiple bruises across her body. There's no reason for it. And as an elected official, it's almost like our pastors, we hold them to a higher standard. I don't care if he was sitting on the bench or not. What I found more discouraging was the people that was defending the abuse and the racism. Have we lost our way as a country and as a city that we can defend somebody because maybe you don't like me and Justin opposes me, so you're going to defend racism? When you guys elected us to be in this office, you put us in a position that we're to lead this city with grace and to love and to lead for everybody, regardless of your religion or your background or how rich or how poor you are. I see a silver lining from my impeachment and all the adversity that me and my family have went through. I look across this room tonight and I see for the first time in 4.5 years people engaging. We're no longer going to be silenced to the crimes that's happening here in London, Kentucky. We're no longer going to let old London manipulate the situation and silence the voice of the people that's been silent for a long time. So it's a beautiful thing that out of all of this, I believe is going to happen. Travailing will give birth and we're going to grow as a city. But don't never stop standing up for whatever you believe in. And there's one thing for sure. If Justin thinks he's going to win this next election, I have news for him. London, I know it pretty dang well now, is not for racism. And they're definitely not for a woman abuser. So we need to keep standing. We're going to keep out of my office asking Justin to resign or asking council to impeach him. Now, I want to make it known that the Ethics Board does have this. But while I was out of office, they appointed back a chairperson named Jane Dyke. She has made it plain that she has took a position that he has done nothing wrong. So that being said, there's nothing going to happen with our ethics board because they feel like there's no violation of the ethics ordinance. But again, your council writes your ethics ordinance. Folks, elections have consequences. So this next election, we need to make sure we're electing people that's truly representing London and not old London. And before the people blast me that I let people speak tonight, I wanted to highlight something. Back in March of this year, matter of fact, council had passed a municipal order, 2025-01. And in that order, it gave the public the ability to speak. They did this in their own order back in March, and it gave each person 5 minutes to speak during these meetings. So you keep showing up, and you keep speaking up, and I guarantee you council's probably not going to show up. Thank you. Have a good night. It's come to my attention, we have one more person that wants to speak, and then we'll close this out. Mr. Booker, if you'll step forward.
Now, am I here?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna face you. How y'all doing, family? Thank you all for the opportunity to join you. I've been on a 3-hour ride getting here, and I'm glad I didn't miss you. I was told last week this was put on my radar, but also I was called out. And I'm a preacher's kid. I was raised in the church. There are times when you get called out, and it's a chance to answer the call. And I want to thank all of you. I want to thank the organizers, and I do have some things I want to add voice to. I drove down here to say something that I hope helps. But first, I want to say how much I appreciate a lady in the back named Jamie Burns. I want to particularly, this podium is, I want to thank you as a symbol for every single one of you lifting your voice when it's difficult. You're calling out for justice and humanity, asking for your government to account for our humanity, our lives, and it's not an easy thing to do. It's uncomfortable. You got to put yourself out there. It's scary. There can be consequences. And I have tried to tell a story all over Kentucky about regular people standing up so that we can just live a good life, that we can be safe in our homes, that we don't have to deal with poverty, and that the government that we elect will actually treat us like we matter. And because of that, people reach out to me and say, hey, Charles, we're hurting here. Can you help us? Can you speak up with us? And I thank God for that, because I've just tried to just use my voice as a regular guy from 35th and Market in West End of Louisville. And Jamie sent me a note a while back to flag me about a grave injustice that happened. And whenever I get those alerts, I pass them along to folks, hey, see where you can help. And I pray, and I try to figure out what I can do, and I try not to let the weight of it all crush me. Well, Jamie said, hey, Charles, I brought attention to an injustice that happened in my town. And Doug's life means something. And I'm asking you to see what more you can do. And I said, you know what? I'm going to see what else I can do. So the fact that I was able to get on the road to come here, I can't thank you enough for reminding me that I got a part to play even now. And what I wanted to speak to, and I'm glad the cameras are out, they're still here. I want to thank the chief and those who are in law enforcement that are here, understanding that our voices matter, because everyone that puts on the uniform earnestly to make sure that our communities are safe, that understand that is a very critical job and it's sacred, that aren't looking to abuse it, aren't looking to take away our constitutional rights. We need to love on them because it takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there, to look out for people. And I want to thank every single one of you that are here. I also, in love, want to call out what I know you've been speaking to. And I've left the governor's office so I can say some stuff that ain't going to get him in trouble. But I want to be very clear. We say Doug Harless's name just like we're saying ours. You speak up for injustice because every single life in this room matters. And the fact that his agency and humanity was taken away over a mistake requires us to have accountability. It requires an investigation. It requires transparency. It requires consequences. Because all those folks who put on the uniform to do right by us should be protected. And that means that if there is a mistake, an egregious one, a depraved one, there should be accountability. We, in every field, that's what we expect. We expect no less here. And as I was driving down, I was thinking about, like, what does it even mean to cry out for justice? And a lot of y'all may have even been with me. We were saying Breonna Taylor's name. And, you know, I visualized her door being busted down and her being killed in her home. And then I saw Doug, and I could imagine the fear and the confusion over what's happening. That he didn't do anything wrong. And to realize that these are his last moments. I feel that. I feel like it was my door that was open, that it was my life that was hanging in the balance. And I can't thank you enough for showing the audacity to keep speaking up, even right now. And so when people ask, well, Charles, why do you go across Kentucky? When I was running for U.S. Senate, I was director of Fish and Wildlife, I'm doing all these things out in the state. Y'all my family, and we fight for family. And I hope that you feel some fuel in your tank to keep going, to keep speaking up. And I also want to be very clear, because I've heard some news about a councilman here that allowed his emotions over a personal matter to justify using racial slurs. We are at a moment in time in this Commonwealth and in this country where hatred and bigotry is being put on the front street. It's being weaponized and used to keep us divided, to hurt people who are vulnerable, to erase our story, and ultimately to keep us so broken that we can't stop them from profiting off of us. And I served in office. I took the oath. And there's a responsibility that comes along with it. We have a responsibility to be accountable to you. If you're elected to serve the people, you're responsible to the people. And that means you should be accountable for inequities. You should be accountable for injustices. It means that you are responsible for upholding the humanity and the integrity of every single person, no matter the color of their skin or how much money they have in their pocket. And I'm going to be very plain. We can't afford people in elected office who don't know how to check their hate. We can't afford it, because if you are comfortable enough to espouse hate in a moment where you are vulnerable and emotional, how did it inform your vote? How did it inform how you showed up in the chambers? When you're talking to your constituents, is that hate behind your decision then? It calls into question every aspect of leadership. And while we have folks at the federal level and at the state level that are driving wedges, that are hurting families, that are hurting us, we can't afford it. I do not believe anyone who is comfortable using hate to communicate a point is fit to be in elected office. So if that's already been said, add my name to it. And as you call out for justice for Doug, add my name to it. I don't know about y'all, but I'm exhausted. It is exhausting to have to cry out, to just be treated right, to have to hold people accountable that you pay for, to have to march in the streets or to hold up signs to call and to call and to call and to cry tears, to tell your story. I have had loved ones murdered every year since 2016. I keep a dog tag in my pocket. Some of y'all may have seen it. My cousin was murdered on Easter Sunday in 2016. Every year since, I haven't lost one this year. But every year since, and it hurts to have to put your heart out there like that. And I just hope that you see enough in me as your family, as an ally, to know that it's worth it. And as dark as it is in this country, you all inspired me to drop everything that I was doing, to get on the road, to come just to be with you. Because this is what democracy looks like. It's what change looks like. Us regular folks on a Monday asking for accountability, using our voice even when it's hard. And I hope you keep going, because I promise you I will. And I question whether I would share this story, but I will, because y'all ain't heard it, and then I'm done, because I know y'all have already had a lot of speakers. But I mentioned I'm a preacher's kid. And my mom, Elder Erletta Hearn, she is dynamic, fiery preacher. Now, it's sort of subdued in here, because I can get loud, you know, and I think we might still need to get loud. But she's a teacher, she's a counselor, she's a fashionista, she makes all her clothes. Growing up, she'd make all my outfits. Incredible woman. She can't swim, though. I told her I was going to tell this story, so now she's used to being embarrassed. She shared this testimony with me, and I want to share it with you. When my mom was little, she was thrown in the pool, and she panicked. She started kicking her feet, thrashing her arms. She cried out for help. And she explained to me that she was convinced she was never going to get out of that water, that she was done. And in her panic and being overwhelmed, and if you've ever felt what it feels like to be overwhelmed and to be paralyzed by the fear of it, where you don't know what to do and you don't think you have an option, that's how I imagine my mom felt. Well, while she was getting ready to just call it quits, a voice cut through the silence and told her, "Stand up!" And it didn't register at first. She was like, I'm hearing people make commotion. They said it again. "Stand up!" And thankfully, Mom heard. It penetrated her heart enough to where she found her footing, and she stood up. And you know what? That water was waist level. I say that to say that I know right here in London, across Kentucky, across the country, it feels like we're drowning. We're drowning in injustice. We're drowning in racism. We're drowning in just struggling to get our ends meet. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I had to leave the pharmacy a couple days ago because I couldn't afford my prescription. We're drowning in just feeling like we can make it to the next day. I promise you, if you continue to stand up, we can still change things, because look around the room. We are the change. You are the change. We are still the change. So I just wanted to put some fuel in your tank, to love on you, to tell you I appreciate you. And everywhere I go, I will continue to lift up Doug's name, because I know what our humanity means. And whenever you need some good trouble to be caused, you better call me. Because I'm looking forward to the chance to transform our future, and it starts in rooms just like this. So thank you. Now, I don't know how you all have done things. Could we do a little call and response? Could I steal that from you? If I say stand for justice, will you say it back to me like you mean it? Can we do that in here? Stand for justice. 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 The people united will never be divided. Come on, y'all. The people united will never be divided. I just wanted to get some energy out there. Had to do it. I wasn't going to drive down there and not make you make some noise. All right, I love you all. Thank you for the chance. Thank you for your diligence. Leanne, you... I heard that there's a resign Justin Young. Listen, I am so glad that you all didn't take this laying down. And yeah, wherever the camera is, Justin, if you can't check your hate at the door, you don't belong in that seat. And that is point blank, period. All right. All right, you all. Y'all better take the mic for I'll make some more good trouble. But thank you. Thank you.
We have another gentleman here wanting to. Yep.
I just wanted to say, before I left, now we address the council and the issues that are going on, but the courage that it takes to do what you're doing, each one of you have to look at the person on either side of you, look at the people who don't believe what you believe, and you have to cross those lines. You have to work together. During the civil rights movement, they didn't take Dr. King seriously until white America started turning on the TV and seeing white people getting hoses and dogs turned on them with our African American brothers and sisters. So I say that to say, just like when the NAACP was started by a coalition of black people, white people, just like during the slavery movement when you had white abolitionists who stood up, we can't do it alone in this culture of racism. It takes each and every one of you to stand up on business, to be willing to put yourself in the proverbial bullseye, to be willing to lose friendships, to be willing to be challenged, to be willing to have your voice heard to make this happen. I've talked with some people in the back. I'm working with some prison units to start NAACP units. I'm working with a couple other cities. Several people have my contact information. You call on me anytime. Other cities have called on me or have gone down there. Call on me anytime. And if I can get from Lexington or get someone here, I will do so. I do have one quick request, because what you're doing is standing up for your rights, and you're standing up for your freedoms. And friend of mine back there said someone told her that, so I want to leave this message with you.
Is a longing to be free, free from fear and persecution, free to think and free to speak. Too many hearts have long been silenced to the song of liberty. Let the heart of every person be a place where freedom lives. Let freedom ring from the mountain, freedom ring from sea to sea. Let freedom ring from every heart that longs for hope and liberty. Let freedom ring from every nation, freedom ring near and far. Let freedom ring with celebration in the halls of every heart. Let freedom ring. Your voice matters. Can't do it alone. Right, sir? From the heart of every prisoner, bound because of their belief. From the heart of every mother, wondering how her child will eat. From the hearts of those who suffer, knowing well the price may be. Laying down your lives and saying with your lives, let freedom ring. Let freedom ring from the mountain, freedom ring from sea to sea. Let freedom ring from every heart that longs for hope and liberty. Let freedom ring from every nation. Freedom ring near and far. Let freedom ring with celebration in the halls of every heart. Let freedom ring in the heart of every patriot. Is a song of liberty. It's a song that breaks oppression's hold and cries, let freedom ring. Let freedom ring from the mountain, freedom ring from sea to sea. Let freedom ring from every heart that longs for hope and liberty. Let freedom ring from every nation. Freedom ring near and far. Let freedom ring with celebration in the halls of every heart. Let freedom ring. Let freedom ring. Stay with me. Let freedom ring.
Use your voice.
Well, I ain't definitely singing for you. We don't need game wardens in here. Mayor? How you doing? Pretty good, you? This fella over here stole half my speech. I think he hacked my phone. Accountability, you know. Rumors are running wild. Everybody wants the council to speak. Then speak. It ain't hard. I do it. I'd take a effing class right there before I'd stand in front of my classmates. You know, that's the way I was. This, over 9 months, not a word from council, not a word from this side, not even a word from the state. Wow. A man in his home, 9 months, day before Christmas Eve, blasted away. Gets a kick at the door less than a minute and a half later. He's dead. I can't even put, my shorts on over my underwear in 2 minutes. I mean, I'm overweight, I'm fat, it's just me. An elderly man. Blasted, what was it, 1 to the head, 3 to the chest or something like that, 1 to the kidney here. Just murdered. Absolutely murdered. But then we get back to silence. Nothing said, right? Have I been to anybody's office? Nobody can say, hey, William, did you talk to them about that? No, I didn't, but a rumor was whispered to me, and I figured I'd come to the horse's mouth. Was there more than one shooter that night that shot Doug Harless? I know one gentleman in the police department has took all the fault for the shooting. But the rumor is that one gentleman only shot one shot. He was shot 4 other times by another officer. So, only question I'd really have to ask is both officers, are they on administrative leave? Is he still on administrative leave because he can't pass the psych exam? Was the other officer cleared to go back to duty? I have to ask this because it's rumored. It's not saying that that's what happened, but that's what's been said. You know, I need to get that out there because that's now a lot of people's afraid. Not one gunman, but 2 gunmen. And then you're sitting up here thinking, I asked one officer and he's just like, you know, expressions say a lot. He's like, oh wow, you know. I know a lot. I know a lot more. But I don't go to your offices. I don't get on Facebook talking about it. But transparency needs to come to a head. It don't matter if you find them not guilty or not. Just be honest about it. A man's door was kicked in. I don't speed down Main Street on purpose, but if I get caught, I'm being held accountable. These gentlemen over here catch me without a seatbelt. I'm not getting in my car and not putting a seatbelt on. It ain't something I'm not putting my seatbelt on. But if I get caught, I'm held accountable. I pray for them gentlemen. I pray for every officer. I even pray for this lady sitting right here. She was there at night, correct? I pray for her every night. They were put in a predicament that they should have never been put into. It wasn't just the officers there at night. Our whole system's broke. It's led us down the wrong road. We've been broke for a long time. Doug Harless is not the first name. If I'm not mistaken, a Gold Force filler was shot in the back. Said it was, what was it the officer said? Resisting arrest. Then with the coroner's finding, he was 73 feet away, facing away from the officer, took a bullet in the back and got killed. But back then, there wasn't social media to wash it under the rug. Social media is your gameplay. But I ask that you people, when you're reading social media, make sure you follow up with the facts. Actually look into it. Because people tell you stuff that ain't absolutely true. But there's a little truth behind every lie if you really look into it. Nobody just tells a lie to be telling a lie. But I think that ex-mayor, would you consider, sent something to the Kentucky State Police. Can you verify if they ever got back?
I was impeached.
But now that you're back in office, you like you said once before, you're a fileman. You got access to all files and records. So you've not heard nothing either? So you're in the shadows with the rest of us?
The mayor never gave me back any.
So do you agree with me the system's broken, needs to be overhauled? Should it take 9 months to solve a murder that's caught on video?
No, what I do believe
and
is.
Audio.
Yeah, so what I do believe and what we've told you multiple times is the Kentucky State Police is investigating.
Told me
this.
multiple times?
Yes.
Personally?
Yeah,
told me.
you
You told me once.
Well, you've been here.
But I didn't come at
spoke
you over
multiple
to Doug
times here.
Harless.
You know, so.
I'm just saying that there is rumors
Yeah.
out there and
And we don't go off rumors or the Justice for
And that's why I'm here.
London Laurel
Can we-
page. We're going to go off facts, and the facts remain.
so
that the
so
Kentucky-
with facts, was there more than one officer that shot Doug Harless
Well,
that
that's
night?
what we're waiting for the Kentucky State
You
Police.
was there. Can you verify it?
That's what we're waiting for the Kentucky State Police.
That's what I'm saying. So the law's broken. The system's
You
broken.
need to go to the state and petition for reform of those laws that are tying their tongues. That's the problem.
And when I called them, you know what they told me? Take it up with my city government.
Right, but you need to petition for that reform. You have to stand up for that reform.
I've been out here for 9 months seeking it
Right, but the
every,
city
at least
of the
5 days a
state-
week.
The state don't see you out here.
I've been down there. I've been Judge Westfield's office. I've been front state police barracks. I've been everywhere. But I don't ask them about Doug Harless or the investigation. I'm just saying there is a rumor going around that 2 officers shot Doug Harless that night. The rumor is Josh Morgan only fired 1 shot. I didn't say he did. But he knows. Shut the rumors down. Yeah.
I told you, it's what with the state police.
I can send you the laws that.
I appreciate it.
That are causing the concern. That
So the system's broke. Are we on the same page? On all,
I don't have enough legal
The Wedlers say, that's what they're called. The Wedlers are saying that the system's broke because this one over here is making racial slurs, which ain't right. And then this group's over here is saying this piece is broke. The system's broke. The system's broke. But when a man in power can stand up and say, I'm done with the system's broke, this is what happened, let's just let the world know what happened that night.
Okay, thank you.
You know? You have a great day.
So I didn't actually plan to speak tonight, but something inspired me, not only the wonderful speakers we've had tonight, but take a moment and look around the room right now. And once you've had a chance to do that, how many people here tonight came straight here after work or came straight here after babysitting a child? These people actually claim they work for you, but where are they? These people, two of them, I almost gave them the benefit of the doubt and thanked them for showing up until they were told the meeting was adjourned, and the rest speaks for itself, right? Exactly. So I have great respect for the man who just got up and spoke, because it's not easy doing public speaking. As you can see, I'm shaking a little bit myself because it is nerve-wracking, but he has been here multiple times to speak, and I applaud him for that. But I just want to mention something real briefly. He keeps talking about facts, right? All right, so let's talk about facts. Yes, Doug Harless lost his life. It was a tragic event. We can all agree on that. However, is it a fact that Mayor Randall Weddle has sat right there during it all, throughout the whole case, even when he was impeached? Then, when the judge came and said that the council had 0 grounds for impeachment, and he showed up that day as that ruling was made, but yet 2 city council members did not show up that day. Why? The whole city council is not here right now. Why? You ask yourself that question. Why are they not here? Ask yourself that question when they show up to your doorstep in a few months, telling you that I represent you and asking you for your doorstep. Ask them. Tell them, if you were here tonight, say, I was here on October 6, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. when you were also supposed to be there, but where were you? Remember this come next election. Thank you all.
We'd like again to thank everybody for showing up here tonight. Again, my office is, whether you like me or not, we're going to let you speak. We're going to hear you out. But you know, we've been very transparent, and I don't go off rumors. We've said that if the Kentucky State Police comes back and any wrongdoing was found, we're going to hold people accountable. Now, you can push another narrative for the Justin Young, which I feel like is trying to be diluted out here. You showed up here tonight because of racism and a woman abuser. While we all want to see justice, let's not forget, though, there's a miscarriage of justice sitting here tonight. Your mayor's sitting here. Where's your council? You know, sometimes the reality is what it is. Stop reading these crazy justice pages post and start opening your eyes of what's happening in front of you and the facts. Wait for the facts before you make a conclusion. And here's a fact. A councilman beat a woman. A councilman made a racial slur against a state trooper who we all love in this community. There's you a fact. A fact. A council member said that he was going to have sexual relations with this woman's daughter. This is facts. I don't watch the justice page for that. I watched it play out in the courts. And just like for this Doug Harless event, let it play out into the courts and then base your knowledge and what's being said off of the facts. We stand with the community. We stand with everybody in this thing with Justin, and my office will remain the same. We will not tolerate racism in this community. We will not tolerate women abusers either. Justin, from the mayor's office, you need to resign.